Hello world, did you have a good Valentine's Day? Or were you like me? Were you single? Did you save money on chocolates and flowers? Now I like that stuff too, that stuff's fun, but you can't really go wrong when you love yourself. Anywho, so what I want to talk to you about... Oh, yes, that's right. How I rapid prototype. The entire reason I got into 3D printing in the beginning was because I wanted to come up with prototypes rapidly. There's an old video out there of a type of think tank that would come up with prototype products. And when I saw that, I was like, yeah, that's what I want to do. I don't know where that is, but I want to do it. It's like a puzzle. It's like an addicting puzzle, kind of like a game. So you're trying to navigate your way through this game that is CAD design, or if you're doing sculpture, you know, it's the same type of thing. You kind of just get into it. You go into right brain mode and you just plow through this puzzle and you fail, kind of like a Dark Souls game, right? And eventually you get it. And that's the payoff. So when you finally pop out that product, it feels really, really good, even if it's just a concept. There are a lot of 3D printing videos already. There's a lot of established people, especially on YouTube. That's fine, let them do that. I'm obsessed with product concepts. That is what I'm focused on. And 3D printing really is just a medium. 3D printing plastic in layers should not be seen as the end all. It is a tool, a method towards a final goal, which is coming out with your own products or replacement pieces for around the house. There's a really interesting and funny Facebook group that, like I said in my last video, Facebook is not dying, it's being rebranded. And everybody, don't go by what the stock is doing. Trust me. There's a lot of businesses on there, and that's where the money comes from. But there's a group on Facebook, and it's hilarious. It's called F That, I'll 3D print it. And it's a lot of people showing off what they've come up with, and they're showing that there's a market for things out there, like car parts that are no longer available. They're hard to find. They're not manufactured anymore, and people are willing to pay for a 3D printed product, whether it's finished or not, you know, like with paint or Bondo or whatever. They're willing to get that piece, like a piece of plastic that they need for a light fixture, like, you know, the rear lights or something like that, or a piece of a bumper. I don't know what I was looking at, but it was very interesting, and there's some really good people on there, and so I suggest you check it out. In my last video, I suggested going on to Cults 3D to upload your files. And again, you don't need a 3D printer to design. You should start designing just to start designing. You should start learning how to design. Just choose a program and design. Get the STL file, pop that out, and give it for free. If you don't have a printer, just give it for free. See how people react to it. See if people like to download it. If they're downloading it a lot, and if they give you likes, that means that it's a good design, and you should continue doing that. And then you can start charging people for other designs. That's just some advice. A lot of people get held up and they say, oh, I don't have a 3D printer. You don't need one. It's not just for 3D printing. It can also be for CNC, whatever. Okay, you have your computer, you use these free programs, you pop out the object file or the CAD file, whatever. There's tons of free information out there. You're gonna have to go and do your homework on that one. But there's just a ton of opportunity for anybody all over the world right now. But you have to start today. So I got into 3D printing because I was running into a lot of obstacles with my electronic stuff. I wasn't able to build anything really, you know, solid. Everything was very flimsy and was falling apart all the time, and it was very frustrating. And I thought I could just use existing materials or go to the hardware store. For some things you can, but for the stuff that I was trying to do, it just wasn't working. And that's where 3D printing came into play. It helped me do a few things. It helped me to focus. It helped me to channel my creative energies into a more structured way. So what I mean by that is, this is how I do it. All right, first of all, this is what I have on Cults 3D. I entered the Valentine's Day contest with this. It is 3 printable pieces. It is 3 different hearts that stack on top of each other, and you can put a rose in the top right there. You could put a rose right there. You can even put a little water in there. There's enough space in there. You fill it up with your best candies or whatever you want to do, your vegan Impossible Burger bits, whatever you want. And then you could top it off with some lollipops or a flower or a chocolate flower. Boom. Okay. So go check it out. It's on Cults 3D, and give it a like. Download it for free. Give it a like. And if you print it, you know, Let me know, or let the people on Colts 3D know. Tell them if it sucks. Tell them if it's good, you know? And the cool thing about it is spilled coffee everywhere. Coffee is like $20 a bag now. Like a bag of Dunkin' is $20. Maybe in the future people can pay each other for their 3D designs with eggs. So this is scalable. Like most designs and prints, it is scalable. You can see how small this one is compared to that one. So if you don't like somebody that much, you give them this one. If you like them a lot, you give them this one.
You're so good.
This is my favorite product, okay? I think this one looks the best. It was an idea I had at 3 a.m. and I just started, I couldn't sleep. I was like, I gotta make this. There it is, boom, okay? I think that's pretty impressive. The cool thing about these is you can take acrylic paint, acrylic markers, and you can color these in. So like the tongue, all that stuff, the eyes, you can color it in however color you want. They have non-slip pads on the back, and there are 8 of these very recognizable, okay, classic emojis. And what you could do with these is you can, you know, have your morning coffee or morning tea, or you can play a little drinking game, right? It depends on who you have over that day. If you're not feeling too hot, maybe you put the sad one on. Maybe you want to get lucky. You put this one down on the table. You say, you know what? Today's my day. Okay, put that one on. Comes in an ergonomic case. This was a really successful design. I'm proud of it because I designed it with minimal skills. I had no idea what I was doing. Previous to that, I had built my my Meta Quest 2, Oculus Quest 2 holsters, the VR holsters. And those aren't, you know, 100% 3D printed. You know, you got to use the one screw in the middle, and I think that's what might put a lot of people off from purchasing it. I do sell the full printed set. It's the left and the right with the screws. And then I give away free VR stickers, VR themed stickers. Check it out, it's on Etsy. And on my site, might be a little cheaper there. So these are product ideas that I'm having. I'm having all these ideas. Some stuff is just, you know, practice. It's just, you know, basic shapes like these taco stands, okay? These are my second most popular item. My most popular item, surprisingly, are my 3D printed chamber flags. Now I have taken acrylic marker and I've painted over the word safe. These are fantastic. So if you go to an outdoor range like I do, and you have to walk out and retrieve your targets, this is strong enough so it doesn't break off into the chamber like a lot of them, especially if they're 3D printed. You can see it, so you could turn around, you could double, triple, quadruple check, make sure that your barrel is safe. There's nothing in there, and everybody else on the range can see your barrel is safe, and they should too. Okay, so let them know. Let them know that you can buy these. They're available on my site or on Etsy. They're fantastic. And on Colts 3D, if you want to download them for free, they're also there. #1 item next to my taco stands. Go figure. So the point is, I use 3D printing as a means to an end. My end goal is to get products, ideas made quickly. My medium is plastic, and I just want it to pop out. Now, don't try and go on Shark Tank with a 3D printed item. Somebody has done that before, and they kind of laughed at him for it because to them, that's not a finished product.
Yeah, we're all out.
What I would do is if I had a popular product and I really liked it and people were buying it enough, I would immediately have it manufactured in injection mold plastic, preferably locally. I wouldn't go all the way to China, you know. I would have it done locally here in the US. There are places that do it at reasonable prices. And now they even have injection molding machines that you can buy. They're a little expensive, but you know, it's all happening. The in-home manufacturing revolution is here, and we're in the early adoption phase, just like VR. VR is here to stay. VR is getting amazing. If you haven't seen it, you got to check it out. It's awesome. I was not a believer, bought one, and now I'm a believer. It's fantastic. It's also great exercise. My other concept that I really, really like, and I think you would too, is my toilet paper suppressor idea. That was kind of a joke that I had, but it was a very simple concept. I didn't know exactly what I was going to design. At first I tried a sort of coil design. Here, I'll show you the original drawing. Hold on. So my original idea was kind of something that would be wavy, and you know, it would clip on the outside of the inner tube of the toilet paper. but it wasn't working and it was a little too wonky and it was still making a grinding noise. The whole point of the product was to quiet the tube that tends to get squished and it flops around on the middle rod that it sits in, right? So I created 3D printed bearings, and then I had, snap cap ends, and you can see the video for that in my YouTube shorts or Instagram, TikTok, wherever. Follow me on all these platforms, by the way. I don't always make the same content for each one, so definitely check me out. Definitely, I'm trying to get a following on TikTok. Instagram doesn't care about me. Strangely enough, something's changed in all of these sites recently. I don't know if it's a bot wipe. I don't know what's going on, but if I post to Instagram and I have it mirrored to my personal Facebook as a public video, I get more views on Facebook. I get 2 views on Instagram. And then on Facebook, I'll get like 1,000 to 2,000 views. That's kind of weird. So you can see my process. I basically, I have an idea, and you'll get better at ideas. If you don't have any ideas right now, you'll get better at coming up with concepts. You just practice every day. You look at something and you think, you know what? What shape should go there? What shape clip could go on, there? How could I hold a phone and attach that into the air conditioner? That's what somebody else did. And then they start selling those products where you clip your phones into the car, and it holds your phone. And that's, a normal product now. That's how it starts. It just starts out as a concept, and then you can rapid prototype with 3D printers. You can rapid prototype. It's very inexpensive. It's like $24 in the US right now for good quality rolls of filament. It's not rocket science. Anybody, anywhere in the world right now with any budget can get into designing rapid prototypes. And so I highly encourage any of you to do it. I wish I knew about it sooner. I wish I had gotten into it sooner. I remember seeing 3D printing. I think it's been around since the 80s, the idea, maybe even sooner than that, who knows. But it hasn't really been affordable and marketable until fairly recently, and the popularity has exploded. It's absolutely exploded in the last 10 years. There's a lot of competition, but don't worry about that. Don't try to be like a 3D printing channel, like I'm trying to encourage you guys to come up with your own concepts that you can go out there and show people, right? You want to wow people. You don't want to show them your little 3D printed, Spider-Man waifu. Everybody does that, and it was unique in the beginning, but now it's like, Warhammer's pretty hot because there's a pain point being addressed there. All right, the pain point is Warhammer's too expensive, and a lot of people are being exposed to Warhammer because there's a lot more video games and fan-made animations and art. And it's getting into meme culture. If you've recently seen those memes, they're hilarious.
They love leaking reactors. They love failure. They love their father, death.
I was in Warhammer when I was a kid, when I was like 12 in the 90s. I remember the first time I touched Warhammer was at a Warhammer store, which was right next to the movie theater. And so my friend and his dad, we went in to there with my brother, and he took us out to see Jurassic Park 2. Okay. And he's like, hey, we got some extra time. We got like an hour. Let's go into the Warhammer store. We went in, and I immediately saw how expensive it was. And it's still expensive. It's ridiculous. But you have a lot of people who are interested in playing a tabletop war game. So they're seeing 3D printing, especially resin printing, and it gives you higher quality, resolution. They can print these models. They can buy models, unofficial models, and they can print them in their house. Games Workshop really needs to get on the ball with that, just start selling the files. They'll still make a ton of money, but whatever. So there's a big opportunity for the Warhammer crowd because they're addressing that cost pain point. It's too expensive. And maybe they're not near a store, right? You can get into, and then on top of that, you can design your own terrain and you can 3D print that, and then you can decorate it, paint it, whatever. 3D printing is great for the Gunpla community, like those Gundam builds and just pretty much any model build. When I was living in South Korea, they had these biannual Gundam exhibitions and Star Wars exhibitions, and people made all kinds of amazing little dioramas, and a lot of them will benefit from 3D printing. Just saying. You could build your own terrain and sell that. It doesn't have to be a product. So just look for pain points and just come up with little easy things that you think would be useful or in and around the house or outside, you know, and just have fun with it. I think that's my number one advice for you, is to have fun with it. I'm having fun, so you can too. All right, I can't even do math. All right, I'm looking at a multiplication chart next to me. I couldn't even put together the $7 Lego when I was 7 years old. $7 Lego. There's like 5 pieces in there. Okay. But now I'm designing CAD designs, simple CAD designs, but you know, I'm getting started. And now that I'm at a point where I can get back into electronics comfortably, I have a pretty good beginner amateur foundation in electronics and all the components. It's very confusing. I spent a lot of time just, you know, really trying to understand how that stuff works. And really it just comes down to electricity in and out, and how fast it's going, and the frequency and all that stuff. So it's a really exciting time, and I think that's the future, is in-home manufacturing, prototyping, people creating replacement parts. The quality is just going to improve over time, and then it's going to be indistinguishable from something that you would buy in a big box store. So definitely get into it now in the early adoption phase, so you can be ready when this takes over every household on the planet, basically. If you need a printer, check out the link in the description. It has my link tree, and that's a link to all my links. One link to rule them all. It has my storefronts and all my other stuff that you can find. And the printers that I recommend, right now I'm running 3 Elegoo, Neptune 3, just base models, although they do have the Max. The Max is great if you want to print big cosplay stuff, right, that you can wear, big helmets. I print helmets with the Creality CR10 V3 perfectly fine when it works. Okay, so if you're getting into 3D printing, look for an auto leveling capable printer. That's my suggestion to you. So get excited, subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it with somebody who you think might like it, somebody who's interested in product design or is confused about, you know, the process of creating their own product or something like that. And let's see what we make. I'll see you in the next one. Stay grounded.